5 days. That's all I'm asking you to test. Not a lifetime, not a year, not even a month. Just 5 days. 5 days where you dare to talk to yourself differently. 5 days where you decide to take back control of the most powerful voice in your life. Your own. I'm not asking for forever. I'm not asking for something impossible. I'm asking you to try for a short window of time. A simple change that could unlock a new version of your life. See, here's what I discovered. Most people spend more time tearing themselves down than building themselves up. They spend more time whispering doubt, discouragement, and defeat into their own ears than they ever spend whispering encouragement, courage, and belief. Think about how many times you've said to yourself, I can't do it. I'm not ready. I don't deserve it. I always fail. It's not meant for me. And you repeat those words over and over, not even realizing that those whispers are shaping the entire course of your life. The truth is this, your life is not only shaped by what you say to others, it is shaped mostly by what you say to yourself when no one is listening. That quiet little voice in the back of your mind, the one you hear more than anyone else's voice, that is the voice that determines whether you rise or whether you fall. That voice is either lifting you to possibilities or burying you under limitations. And here's the thought I want you to carry today. What you speak to yourself in private will eventually show in public. If you constantly talk to yourself like a loser, don't be surprised when you live like one. If you talk to yourself like a person of excuses, don't be surprised when your life reflects nothing but excuses. But if you talk to yourself like a winner, if you talk to yourself like a disciplined soul, if you talk to yourself like someone destined for success, your life begins to shift. Not forever, not endlessly, just for 5 days. Why 5 days? Because 5 days is enough to feel it. 5 days is enough to see it. 5 days is enough to prove to yourself that your words have power. But here's the key, don't say, I'll try. Don't say, I'll give it a shot. Say, I will. Don't say, it's too hard. Say, it's worth it. Don't say, I'm not good enough. Say, I'm improving every single day. For 5 days, feed your mind a different diet. Words of courage, words of faith, words of discipline, words that strengthen you instead of weaken you. Have you ever noticed that the most important conversation you'll ever have is not with your spouse, not with your boss, not even with your best friend? The most important conversation you will ever have is with yourself. Because the dialogue within determines the direction without. The words you repeat in silence echo into your actions. The stories you tell yourself eventually become the life you live. Here's the truth. Self-talk shapes destiny. What you whisper inside eventually becomes what you shout to the world. Years ago, someone told me, be careful what you say to yourself because you are listening. And that struck me. I realized that all day long, I was planting seeds in the soil of my own mind. Some of those seeds were good. I can do this. I am capable. I am learning. But some were poisonous. I'll never make it. I don't belong. I can't handle this. And here's the principle. Whatever you plant, you will eventually harvest. So let me ask you, what are you planting? Because your mind is fertile ground. It doesn't resist. If you plant weeds, it grows weeds. If you plant flowers, it grows flowers. The soil doesn't argue. It doesn't discriminate. It simply produces. And your inner dialogue is the gardener. You are gardening every single day. Now imagine this 5 days. Just 5 days where you take control of that gardener. 5 days where you say, I will not plant weeds anymore. I will not allow poison in my soil. I will only speak words of strength, possibility, belief. What do you think 5 days of strong, intentional self-talk could do? It could shift your spirit. It could ignite your confidence. It could reprogram your beliefs. Because here's the law of the mind. Whatever you repeat, you reinforce. If you tell yourself long enough, I'm not enough, you'll live as though you aren't enough. If you tell yourself, I can't change, your actions will line up with that belief. But if you tell yourself, I am capable, I am disciplined, I am on my way, eventually your mind believes it. And once your mind believes it, your life will follow it. So talk to yourself with intention. Start your mornings not with default words, but with design. Don't wake up and say, I'm tired, it's another hard day. Instead, say, today I choose growth. Today I will focus on progress, not perfection. Today I will not be defeated by doubt. Say it out loud if you can. Whisper it if you must. But say it. Because repetition is power. Words spoken with conviction carve grooves in the mind. They become patterns that guide your life. Now, I know what some people might be thinking. They'll say, but isn't this just positive thinking? And the answer is no. It's deeper. Positive thinking is hoping for the best. Self-talk is training your inner voice. It's writing the script that your mind follows. It's creating a compass that points you toward your best self. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and your own tongue is the one you hear most often. So let me ask you, what are you speaking into your future? If you want success, talk success. If you want strength, talk strength. If you want courage, talk courage. Because words are not empty. Words are seeds. And 5 days of planting good seeds can begin a harvest of change. But I need to warn you, self-talk works both ways. If you are careless, it will work against you. If you constantly say, I'm tired, I'm unlucky, I never get a break, your subconscious accepts that as truth, and soon your actions align with it. You'll walk slower. You'll expect less. You'll try half-heartedly. And eventually, you'll prove yourself right. That's the tragedy of negative self-talk. It fulfills itself. But here's the miracle: positive self-talk fulfills itself too. If you say, I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm getting better every day, soon your mind begins to believe it. Your actions start to match it. Your energy begins to reflect it. And before long, your life is living proof of the words you planted. So guard the words inside. Direct your dialogue. Take charge of your inner conversation. Talk to yourself like someone you respect. Talk to yourself like someone who deserves success. Because you do. And if you practice this for just 5 days, you'll notice something remarkable. The same voice that once criticized you will begin to encourage you. The same voice that once held you back will begin to push you forward. The same voice that once whispered defeat will begin to sing victory. And then you'll see it, your inner world begins to shift. And when your inner world shifts, your outer world has no choice but to follow. Think of it like this: self-talk is programming. Every day you are writing instructions for your future. If you say, I can't, your mind programs failure. If you say, I'm not smart enough, your mind programs limitation. But if you say, I can learn, I can grow, I can improve, your mind programs growth and the future expands. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is repeated. It only knows what you keep telling it. That's why 5 days of a new story, 5 days of new words, 5 days of intentional dialogue can spark a shift in your emotions, your behaviors, and your destiny. So here's the challenge. For 5 days, guard your self-talk. When the old voice of doubt rises, replace it with a new voice of courage. When you hear yourself say, I can't, immediately respond with, I can, I will, I must. When you feel fear whispering in your mind, replace it with faith. For 5 days in the morning, say to yourself, this is my day, this is my chance, this is my time. At night, say to yourself, I did my best today, and tomorrow I will do even better. Throughout the day, when weakness comes, speak strength. When excuses come, speak discipline. When fear comes, speak courage. 5 days, just 5 days. Why 5? Because 5 days is short enough to begin immediately. It's long enough to notice the difference. and it's powerful enough to start transformation. You don't need to commit to forever. All you need is 5 days. And if you can discipline yourself for 5 days, you will taste victory. And once you taste it, you won't want to go back. Because when you see the change, when you feel the energy shift, when you realize that your words carry real power, you'll know the truth. Your mind has been waiting for this all along.